Visiting a museum and admiring its art has always been inspiring for me. But that day was destined to be much more than just an ordinary visit. With my husband occupied in a meeting, I decided to go alone. There was a thrill I hadn't felt in a long time, though it wouldn't take me long to realize that it wasn't about the art. In the darkest corner of the exhibition, I saw a man chiseling a sculpture. He appeared to be in his 30s, with slightly messy hair and hands covered in marble dust. The artist caught my gaze. His eyes held a depth that seemed to read through my soul. "Do you always work like this?" I asked, summoning my courage. "Do you always stare like that?" he replied with a subtle smile. That brief exchange made me lose track of time. Before I knew it, I was sitting beside the sculpture, watching his skillful hands breathe life into the marble. Each strike was a melody. Every movement filled the air with a palpable tension. By the evening, the museum was closing, but he invited me to his workshop behind the exhibit. I should have hesitated, but the pull I felt silenced my logic. The workshop was small yet mesmerizing. Every corner reflected his art, brushes, sculptures, sketches, but the only thing holding my attention was his presence. "It's impossible not to lose yourself in art here," he said. "Is it only the art?" I asked, a hint of challenge in my voice. He locked eyes with me, the distance between us shrinking. His fingertips lightly brushed against my face, and every nerve in my body lit up with the sensation. To truly see a woman, to understand her soul, is an art form, he said. His gaze drew me in like a magnet. It was as if a secret lingered on his lips, and I was willing to do anything to uncover it. The silence between us became an agreement that needed no words. My fingertips unconsciously moved closer to him. When our hands met, an electric current shot through my body. At that moment, time stood still. There was no past, no future, only his presence and the desires echoing within me. I took a deep breath and felt his warmth completely envelop me. His whispers unlocked something inside me that I had suppressed for years. The first kiss was gentle, yet passionate. As our lips met, the tension between us exploded. My hands instinctively ran through his hair as he pulled me closer by my waist. The fireplace cast warm flickers of light throughout the room, and his breath lightly grazed my neck. Every second of this moment felt like the rebirth of a long-buried desire. My heart raced, and my breaths intertwined with his rhythm. His fingertips traced down from my shoulders, leaving a tingling trail with each gentle movement. At that moment, there were no questions, no doubts in my mind. As he drew me closer, there was a determination in his gaze not to break the spell of the moment. When our lips met again, the distance between us completely vanished. My hands roamed across his back, feeling his strong yet tender presence. "Being here with you makes me forget everything," I whispered, my voice barely audible. "And feeling you here reminds me that this is the only thing that's real," he replied. Every movement, every whisper, every glance felt suspended in time. I knew hours had passed, but I wished the moment could last forever. That night, as I lay in bed, I couldn't stop thinking about what had happened. Every touch, every kiss replayed in my mind like a melody on loop. It was a moment of freedom, but also a confrontation with myself. The hours I had spent with him reminded me of something I had forgotten, what it truly meant to feel alive. But the weight of those feelings wasn't light. One part of me tried to defend what had happened, while the other screamed that I wasn't ready to face the consequences. Some moments leave a mark on your soul. That night left a mark I would never forget. But I still didn't know if I would carry it as a memory or a regret.